What's up, YouTube? Back with part 4 of making a chef's knife. If you've watched the other 3 videos, you may notice that this is actually a different knife. Wasn't able to finish the video with that first one that I was making. But that's okay, because this one includes a bolster, so it's going to be a little bit more in detail. So I've heat treated the blades. They're good and hard, tempered. So they're good to go here. Now I've knocked most of the scale off of this one. After they come out of heat treat, they're going to look more like this if you don't actually wrap them in foil, which I do not. But regardless, it goes from this after a couple hours on the grinder, because it's really hard now. It goes looking something like this. Okay, so currently I'm there. All right, brought it down to, I'd say, about 95% of the thickness that I actually want to take it to. All right, and then you're just gonna go back through again with your grits. Okay, so starting with a 36 grit belt, working it down. I'll go to 60, 120, 220, 400, and then hand sanding. So I'll show you a little bit of the grinding. It's a relatively repetitive process, so we're not gonna watch all of it, but here's more or less how we'll do it. Now, one thing I will show you is I am going to have a bolster on this knife here. So it's imperative that we keep this section right here extremely flat. Okay, so I want to make real take extra caution when I'm grinding up here to not dig into this area right here. Also, when I'm grinding it flat, make sure that I'm keeping it super flat, so the bolster will lay down properly. So like I said, I'll show you a little bit on the grinder, and then we'll move on. Make sure that, when you're coming up here to where would normally be your plunge line, I don't want to plunge on this knife, so basically I'm going to go ahead and clear the blade like this, okay? That way I'm getting all of the blade here. I'm thinning it out just like the rest of the blade, alright? But I'm not digging into this area here where I'm going to put my bolster, okay? Another thing that's imperative, and I think it goes without saying, is please, especially with stainless steels, make sure that you've drilled all of your holes before you do the heat treat, because otherwise this will just be pretty much impossible to drill. So again, make sure you're taking note of your straightness while you're grinding. So if you get little wonky on one side, you can fix it, and you don't get too far ahead of yourself and end up with a completely jacked up blade. So now, also, with that being said, again, even strokes on each side, or even passes on both sides. With your higher grit belts, basically you're just, like I said, you're going to take the knife down to about 95%, 90-95% of where your finished blade's actually going to be, what it's going to look like. So, take care with this here. You have a little bit more room for error when you have a heat-treated blade, but also keep in mind that you are playing for keeps after you've heat-treated this, especially if you've paid for it. So you don't want to wreck something at this point. So, again, like I said, make sure you're looking down both the spine of the blade, checking for any kind of warps that maybe you can grind out at this point. Also, make sure you're getting like your distal taper good. You know, it has nice flowing and even sides on both sides of the spine. Make sure the actual cutting edge is staying straight. And then, like I said, make little corrections as needed. But outside of that, you're just going to keep on grinding until you get it down to, like I said, on the first grit, I usually go to about 90-95%, and then I'll switch up to a higher grit. So I'm going to put the last couple finishing touches on this, and then I'll probably do the flats again real quick. Actually, I'm going to do that now, and then just put my final grinds, horizontal grinds. Both ways here favoritism I have to one side or the other. Okay. And I need this pressure, so make sure you're not putting too much pressure on one side or the other. This should more or less erase any kind of plunge line. After heat treat, you will need to dunk the blade quite regularly because it will get hot. And the last thing you want to do is completely wreck your temper on the blade, especially after you spend all the time heat treating it, or paying money sending it out to get heat treated. You don't want to wreck what you've paid for, or the effort you've put in. So again, make sure you got all your scale off on these on this first grit. Make sure you got the shape to where you want it, and then you're just going to start working up through grits. Okay. So I'm going to finish that. You guys know how to grind on stuff, so I'm not going to show that. But come back, part 5. We will go into hand sanding. All right. Thank you.